Good morning, everybody. It is this new day where we're dealing with the shutdown and with the closure of the churches. It's a tough day, I think, for many of us. Certainly a tough day for me as a priest and as a pastor. And I know just from communicating with people that it's a daunting thing, even kind of a scary, fearful thing to have our churches closed. Um, as I've talked with people and as I've prayed with this just over the last day, a thought occurs to me, a question that I think is kind of an important one. And it's this question: do we believe that the Lord can give us grace apart from the sacraments? We know how incredibly important the sacraments are. We know that they're the ordinary means of grace. Jesus has revealed to us these incredible gifts, gifts like the Eucharist, gifts like confession. Um, but I think it's important to note that while we believe these are the ordinary means of grace, we do not believe that these limit God in dispensing grace in ways known to Him alone. In fact, it's His grace that brings us to the sacraments. So before we've received them, it's actually His grace that brings us in all kinds of different ways to that place where we're able to receive. And so I think it's important. I don't believe that God abandons those who are not able to receive the sacraments. I don't believe the church is abandoning them. I certainly don't feel like I'm abandoning my parishioners by obeying the governor's order and Bishop John's kind of application of that to our parish life. These are real sacrifices. They're painful, they're difficult, but I believe they don't isolate us. They don't separate us from God's grace. So I think we're invited to trust that the Lord offers us grace in many ways, in manifold ways. He offers us grace in prayer. Any place we are, under any circumstances, we can pray. He offers us grace through the Word, through the Scriptures. He offers us grace through the intercession of others. He offers us grace through the masses that every priest is offering each day for each parish, for the intentions of the parish, for the world. He offers us grace as we reach out to one another. Every one of us, through our baptism, a member of Christ's body, we have the opportunity to be mediators, to be intercessors, to be conduits of God's love and power. And so just to encourage you, if you're scared, if you're afraid, if you're angry about these barriers, I really encourage you to meditate on the Lord who offers us grace. You can see behind me a little statue of the Sacred Heart. It's an old one, kind of beat up, but I think it's really beautiful just to reflect that the Lord has given us His own heart, and He dwells in our hearts. And it's a real sacrifice not to be able to receive Him in the Eucharist, not to be able to go to confession, but it doesn't mean that the Lord has turned away. It doesn't mean that He limits His grace. Maybe just to close, St. Paul tells us in one place that where sin abounds, grace abounds all the more. And I think that's not just true in the case of sin, but also of any difficulty. Where there's difficulty, where there's loss, where there's sacrifice, the Lord's grace abounds all the more. So I really believe that in this difficult time, the Lord is offering us grace. Perhaps grace maybe in deep and powerful ways we haven't experienced before. So I encourage you to open your heart to that, to trust the Lord, that He continues to be at work, and also to ask Him how you can be a minister of His grace, a conduit of His grace to the people around you. Know that I'm praying for you, and please keep praying for me and for all the priests as we figure out ways to serve you and to accompany you during this time.